Okay, let's just get right into it. That title, Why You Have No Friends. I know, it's a bit much, right? But stick with me. We're not here to make you feel bad. We're actually going to unpack this really fascinating idea that for some people, the way their brain works can make friendship, well, a little complicated. So let me ask you this, straight up. Do you ever just look around and feel like you're on a completely different frequency? Like you're noticing things other people just seem to gloss over, or you're questioning stuff that everyone else just accepts? If you're nodding along right now, then this is definitely for you. And boom, this quote right here just nails it. Think about it. So much of making friends is about finding common ground, shared habits, basically fitting in. But what happens if your default setting isn't to fit in, but to stand back and analyze, to question? That's the conflict, the real tension we're going to get into. And this leads us to what we're going to call the sameness paradox. It's this weird catch-22 where the very thing that makes friendships easy for most people, that sense of sameness and group identity, can actually feel like a wall for somebody else. So let's be detectives for a little bit. We're going to investigate 3 specific cognitive traits our source material points to. And just to be clear, these aren't personality flaws or something you need to fix. They're just different ways your brain can be wired, and they have some really surprising social side effects. All right, let's look at our first clue, and it is a big one. It's this deep internal drive to reject the group. And this isn't about being contrarian just for fun. It's something way more fundamental than that. The official term is low social conformity. But what does that really mean? Well, it's that voice inside you that immediately perks up and asks, wait, why is everyone doing that? When a new trend hits. Your internal compass doesn't point to the crowd. It points to your own independent judgment. Every single time. And you can see the clash right here, can't you? On one side, you have high individualism, where being true to yourself is everything. On the other, the group mentality, where belonging is the main goal. One isn't better than the other, but wow, you can see how they would have a hard time meshing. Okay, so let's build on that with our second trait. If you're not conforming, what are you looking for? Well, you're looking for what's real. And that leads us to what you could call your own personal authenticity detector. So this is called high social perception. And it's not just about being observant. It's like this razor-sharp, almost instant ability to see through the social performance. You just feel the gap between what someone is saying and what they actually mean, which can make small talk feel, well, kind of exhausting. I absolutely love this metaphor, a built-in fake behavior detector. It's like you're walking around with this super sensitive radar for anything that's not genuine. And here's the key. You can't just switch it off. It's always running in the background, constantly scanning your social environment. And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle. Now, this one is a real paradox because it actually comes from a major strength. Let's talk about the self-sufficiency trap. Okay, here's the thing. A huge part of how people bond is by helping each other. It makes us feel needed, it makes us feel useful, and it builds trust. But if you are super competent and you're used to figuring everything out on your own, you might, without even realizing it, be closing that door for connection. And this breaks it down so perfectly. It's this accidental cycle, right? A problem comes up, you handle it. Alone. Which means you almost never ask for help. And because of that, you accidentally leave zero space for other people to step in, to contribute, to feel needed by you. It's not on purpose, but it definitely creates distance. So let's pull all of these threads together now. We've got this low need to conform, this super high perception of what's real, and this deep-seated self-sufficiency. When you mix all of those together, you arrive at what our source material calls a state of intellectual solitude. And this is the big aha moment. This is the reframe. These things aren't flaws. They're a highly advanced filtering system. Your low conformity isn't antisocial. It's a filter for authenticity. Your high perception isn't being judgmental. It's a filter that weeds out the fake stuff. And your self-sufficiency, that means when you do connect, it's 100% about who that person is, not about what you can get from them. This might be the single most important sentence in this whole explainer. If anyone has ever made you feel like you're too intense or too picky or just difficult, consider this. Maybe you're not rude. Maybe you're just real. Let that sink in for a second. And that leaves us right here with this one last big question. What's actually better? To be on your own but feel true to yourself, or to be surrounded by people but feel like you're playing a part?
There's no right answer, of course, but understanding your own wiring, well, that's the first step to figuring out yours.